A gunshot. The sound of breaking glass. You're dead. Just try your... That man's anger roars and woman screams carry on. Then another shot. You've been sleeping around behind my back again. So what good for nothing. Their breathing goes back and forth. Oh, you gotta love this novel. Sounds like someone's having themselves a shootout. But not a single passerby pays any attention to it. Firefights and bloodshed are everyday occurrences here in Amidahara. You can't survive in this town if you had every little thing bother you. The cops aren't even coming with sirens blaring. Their authority and handle on violence extends only to the periphery of Amidahara, the border with the outside world. If you got trouble, you're on your own. If it does concern you, then leave it alone. That's what passes for common sense here. Since getting taken in 6 months ago by Annerose, I've gotten a little more used to it. That excludes getting attacked myself, of course. Annerose remarks offhandedly. I guess so. I chime in, but tense up at every gunshot. Isn't it all the way across the street? A little close? Unlike Annerose, I can defend myself against a bullet. If one of said lovebird strays comes my way, that's it. The bag can't shut up now. Ask anyone and they'll call you a bag. It's all the same thing, let alone a messed up talking one. You're the one who started talking to me. Michiko doesn't answer. Pretending to ignore me, huh? Well, quite. Fine by me. I snort and look away from the bag hanging from Annerose's arm. This veritable little bundle of joy is Michiko. I don't know what kind of creatures the devils or whatever from her world are, but Michiko can't shapeshift like this. She keeps Kongo Yasha inside her, so whenever Annerose goes out, Michiko naturally is glued right to her. The fact she's still able to talk in that form despite Annerose carrying her around like a bag is just downright depressing. Right. Let's see. One Brad's sincere supermarket. I answer while reading off the request. The wall was allegedly blown up and the food stores completely demolished. The meats in particular, raw meats. Then, according to their specialists, residual traces of magical energy were found. Annerose Detective Agency is requested to apprehend the criminal, dead or alive. Annerose looks positively pleased. Does that mean anything? I often visit the supermarket myself, but they got illegal drugs and stuff sitting right out in the open in the pharmacy section. Or in the grocery section, they got weird things right next to the run-of-the-mill foodstuffs on the shelf that clearly aren't of this world. The cashier blowing away from shoplifter while I'm busy picking up the stuff for dinner has become a familiar scene. It's that kind of supermarket that has warehouse trouble. Wait a minute. Annerose?
Nani?
Isn't that place under protection of the Jimu group?
So?
Annerose readily nods. Hey, aren't we forgetting something here? What it means to attack an organization's turf. Amidahara is largely broken up between three major powers. The Jimmy Group is the first of these, a mafia comprised of several Yakuza gangs, a Yakuza federation, so to speak. They're kind of a pigeonholed into hostilities with anything from outside in the demon city of Amidahara. Against them is the Kongo clan, comprised of Chinese overall the globe and their underworld. They have strong ties with their homeland, the Chinese Union, and their war with the Jimmu group for turf and control of Amidahara's myriad vices knows no end. And finally left behind in Amidahara from the old peninsular conflict, an irregular unit gone rogue from the UAC, nicknamed the Black Dogs. They're straying out of Jimmy Group and Kongo clan affairs, but maintain cyborg soldiers as avatars of the UAC. Science is God deterring their bad news.
さては上に黙って鬱を横流しでもしてたのね。それで不始末を知られたくなくて私に頼んだと。
That's certainly a possibility. I look at her with a nod. The shiny look in her eye says she's thinking of how to twist her arm on that to score a little extra.
やられたのは生肉って言ったわよね。
Yes.
あの店でこっそりさばいていた生肉か。何の肉かしらね。珍しいものなら少しもらっちゃおうかな。
She comes right and says it. I am going to be one cooking it. I've never handled anything other than pork, beef, or chicken though. Not that I want to start now either.
何言ってるの。何事も挑戦よ。
That's not what I had in mind.
美智子にやらせる。で、食はリークが。
Annerose quietly whispers. Please, anything but that.
ま、それは後にしましょう。楽しみが一つ増えたってことで。
Annerose slings on the trunk over her shoulders and cocks her head. I think I was supposed to say that.
んで、リクの猫探しは？
Ah, here we go. Please find my cat. Casilico male, 3 years old, answers to Lappy, has a red collar with a bell, notes, likes people. Oh, there's a picture too. Annerose glances at it.
普通の依頼ね。本当に猫探しだわ。
Maybe male Calcilios or Caliscos are supposed to be super rare or something.
じゃなくて、なんでそんな依頼がうちに来たの？どこから？
The Magic Temple. Some tourists lost their pet and want us to go looking for it.
おばあちゃん？そんなバカな観光客なんてほっときゃいいのに。相変わらず人がいいんだから。
Despite saying so, Annerose's face is filled with tender emotion. The Magic Temple is Amidahara's one and only souvenir shop. That's right, a souvenir shop. With stuff like local cookies, pastries, keychains, charms, ornaments, tapestries, the usual fare of any sightseeing destination. A kind of little old lady named New runs the place, and it's apparently popular with the tourists in its own right. Which means you can waltz right in from the outside and still be okay as long as you don't wander off too far. Annerose must go way back with New, since she calls her grandma and holds her very close. She occasionally stops by to enjoy my coffee and is an irreplaceable person in this town who brings calm to the people's souls. Since New is such a softie, it's simply impossible for her to turn down a request for some dumb tourist that drags their pet out here, and then it has it go missing.
そっか。おばあちゃんからの頼みじゃしょうがないか。まあ、頑張んなさい。
Annerose plants a reassuring pat on my shoulder. You're really not gonna help me.
それは別。言ったでしょ。もうちょっと助手として役に立つようになりなさい。
そうそう、バカ人間はせいぜい頑張って猫探しに励むといいわ。
That is what I get from thinking she shut up. Yeah, whatever, third wheel.
リーダー、アンネローゼ、今日は私と楽しく過ごしましょう。ね。
Annerose clicks her tongue. I thought it was because of the stupid maid and I'm going at it again, but that wasn't it. Actually, I wish it had been, because she came strolling over, Annerose's sworn arm enemy, Mei Fing Li. Basically Ouroboros' sister, if you guys are wondering for that. A beautiful woman in a high-cut Chinese dress. Her slender limbs, insane body, and sense of style are right on par with Annerose. On top of that, her dress has a high, wide slits on either side. More accurately, it's just hanging down in the front and back. Another slit from her navel to her chest has her cleavage on full display, and I can't tell from here, but the back is probably wide open too. Her sex appeal is crazy. I give her props. From a man's perspective, she's mind-numbingly hot from all angles, but the scary look in her eyes doesn't match the rest of her pretty picture. Her thin, sharp eyes are cold as ice and filled with sadistic light, lacking any of Annerose's good humor. She has humor. She exudes an air that that says she kill a man she didn't like on the spot if he accidentally looked where he shouldn't. And that's no exaggeration either. Mei Ling is an assassin working for the Kowloon clan. She uses weapons called rope darts, small blades attached to rope, skillfully wielding them like living things. On top of that, she's also a specialist capable of using dreadful hex magic. Her trade name is White Snake. Rumor has it she actually keeps a serpent from the demon world inside her body. Everyone in Amidahara knows of her, myself included. And there's one other minor detail. She and the Steel Witch Annerose get along like cats and dogs. It doesn't sound like they butted heads on jobs just once or twice. Nor had a few deathmatch either. The only reason things haven't been settled yet between these two fearsome beauties is that they're both evenly matched. So in short, sworn enemies. By the time I grown, it was already too late. Mei Fing is heading straight this way with her entourage of Kulu clan lackeys. She's locked on, staring daggers at Annerose. Annerose excludes the pleasure from every pore in her body and strides out to meet her. They're on a crash course with each other. Unfortunately, it seems those two can't let the other pass on by. With sparks flying between them, they stop just short enough to grab the other's collar.
あら、薄汚れたトランクなんか下げてどこの間抜けなおのぼりさんかと思ったら、鉄サビの魔女のアンネローゼじゃない。
久しぶりね、泥蛇のメイフォン。バスへの娼婦みたいに下品な格好の女がいたからすぐにあなただって分かったわ。
そういうあなたは愛も変わらず上から下まで黒ずくめのぶっ細工な格好してるわね。よくそんな服で街を歩けるわ。
そう？魔界のドブみたいに薄汚れた性格を白でごまかそうとしてる誰かさんよりマシだと思うけど。
男に恵まれてない女って本当に発想が貧困ね。なに、貧弱な坊やと歩いちゃって恥ずかしくないの？ああ、そういう気持ちもないんだ。
Runt me. That's not neither strapping hero nor handsome prince. Just standard humble peasant to you, lady. But I keep this to myself and don't say a peep, of course.
そうね。一山いくらの安いチンピラ連れて大名行列してるアバズレの気持ちばかりは私にもわからないわ。
Mei Fing's entourage, so respectfully referred to as a bunch of little punks, likely members of the Kowloon clan, all get a pissed look on their faces. They look pretty tough unlike me, but know full well they're no match for Annerose.
相変わらず面白いわね、アンネローゼ。
あなたほどじゃないわよ、メイフォン。
They laugh, but in their eyes do not. The entourage and I slowly back away from the sparks flying between them. Jumping into a catfight between these two isn't something a wise person would do. The tension here is about to snap. They're going to draw any second. Annerose, the witch wielder of Kongo Yasha, Mei Fong, the rope dart using hexer. Their weapons, magic, even their fighting style closely resembles each other as you don't expect from better rivals. Oop, Annerose would probably kill me if she heard me say that. More importantly, just please don't start fighting here. If they really decide to cut loose, neither one's going to walk away unscathed. Michiko gets my attention with a whisper right as she's about to release Kongo Yasha. What do you want?
早く止めて。あの女の相手するとアンネローゼが美しくなくなって嫌なのよ。
That's what you're telling me for? Then again, I really want to stop them too. I don't know if she can hear us whispering or not, but Annerose is slightly glaring at Meifong before I knew it.
早くして。私は手も足も出ないんだから。
Damn it. She's always picks the best times to pull her luggage routine. Annerose, we have our jobs to attend to, so...
リク、
Yes.
あなたは何？
What am I?
リクは私の何？敵？
Never. I'm your assistant.
なら黙って。
Yes, ma'am.
この役立たず。
You're asking the impossible. Nobody can stop Annerose when she's this scary.
すぐ済むわ。ゆっくりと毒で死にたい。
Looks like they're having their own problem stopping Meifong too. Are fights between sworn enemies inevitable?
ミチコ、
しょうがないか。
I hear Michiko sigh with the trunk opens.
あなたの悪はさぞかしまずいでしょうね。
Annerose draws Kongo Yasha.
死ぬよりもひどい目に遭わせてやるわ。
Rope darts appear like magic in Meifong's hand. Here they go. Just before the point of no return, shouts of duel. There's a duel over here. Come from a totally different direction.
え？
何よ。
They both reflexively look to where all the shouting's coming from. It's over by the market. I can see a crowd starting to gather. And I can hear shouts of duel and sword fight. There really must be a duel starting up over there after all. Now's my chance. Did you hear that, Annerose? Somebody's having a duel. Wouldn't you like to have a look?
あのね、今私が。
I know exactly how much you want to slice her to ribbons. But hey, won't everyone be missing out if two duels break out at the same time in separate places? And I bet you would like to see what's going on over there too, right?
わかったわよ。
Annerose sighs and returns Kongo Yasha to Michiko's trunk.
なんなのよ。興ざめったらありゃしない。
Wearing an annoyed expression, Meifong stows her rope darts with the same defiance as what she produced them.
で何？アンネローゼはあっち見に行くの？
Meifong asks, her hospitality having cooled off for the moment.
人の決闘を邪魔したバカがどんな奴らなのか見てやるわ。
そうね。くだらない連中だったらその決闘ごと潰してもいいわね。
いい考えね。
The pair who were about to kill each other sat side by side, discussing dangerous things. Her entourage and I exchanged looks of mutual sympathy and followed behind them. Wow, they're even nicer in the VN compared to the OVA. The marketplace is packed to the gills. It's all onlookers clamoring for the Pika at the duel. Shoutouts and knife fights aren't all the uncommon, but a duel is a different story. Especially this early in the morning, and right in the middle of the marketplace to boot. This is the first for me too. There's an opening in the center of the mighty throng. The ones responsible for all this commotion are probably in there. Not that I can tell from the back all the way back here. Though...
ほんと、ここの連中ってこういう騒ぎが好きよね。
あなたもでしょ、アンネローゼ。
自分だって嫌いじゃないくせに。
嫌いなんて言った覚えはないわ。それにしても邪魔でこいつ。どいて、見えないわ。
Meifeng taps on one of the onlookers on the shoulder. The man who looked back with an angry shout suddenly turns white.
どいて。
The man shrieking back for Meifeng's turn, possibly monochrome at the sight of Annerose right next to her. Haha. Like Moses parting the Red Sea, a path opens in the packed crowd in the blink of an eye. This is the almighty power of Amidala's twin lioness, says. They proceed to the front of the crowd, wearing expressions like it was a matter of course. I'm a little taken back myself, but nevertheless follow them to our new front row seats.
あら、二人とも刀使いね。
へえ、ちょっと嬉しいわ。
They trade comments while sizing up the two fighters. I peer out from behind them. There are two men facing off over there. One's a bold samurai. I know this because of the aura he says he can't be anything else for the moment I laid eyes on him. His right eye gleams sharply like a hawk's. His left one is covered with a sword guard eye patch like Jubei Yagu? He looks to be around 40, and though he isn't as tall as me, I call him hard and tough like a stump over short. Damn this grammar. He's got a tattered kimono and a straw saddles on his feet, with a matching set of long and short swords on his waist, the belts strung to them dangling soundlessly. He honestly looks like he's jumped straight out of some period film. The samurai hasn't even touched his swords, yet betrays not the slightest opening, and he quietly regards the man before him. The one who's already armed, screaming draw at the top of his lungs. Big. He's gotta be at least 2 meters tall. Huge up and across, and fitting for those giant bodies the massive sword slung on his back. Not to mention that scary face. An old scar runs straight line across his harder than steel forehead, and piercing eyes sit beneath his shaven... Wait, what? I'm not even gonna do that again. Wasn't this guy supposed to have been killed by Annerose? It's him! Flabbergasted, I tug at Annerose's sleeve.
あ？何よいきなり大声出して。
It's him. It's that big guy.
何？リクの知り合い？
Hey. Wait a minute. Wait, Annerose, you don't remember? Him?
知らないわ、あんなやつ。
What are you talking about? You guys fought on the night we first met. I point at the giant. The man as Annerose fought on one-on-one on that night long ago. He turned into a minotaur demon right in front of us and was cut down by Annerose. Or should have been.
誰が？
Hey. You did.
は？私？
She's drawing a blank. Does she seriously not remember? That giant, if I remember right, his name was... That's it. Abu. His name was Abu. Abo? It's Abo, remember? He turned into a bull monster, and you were all... Watch out, watch out! And sliced him to pieces and finished him off with a kick to the head.
そんなことあった？忘れちゃった。
How the hell do you forget about somebody you killed with your own 2 hands? I accidentally get a bit from forward than what I want out of the agitation.
うっさいわね。ぶった切ったも何も、あそこでピンピンしてるじゃないの。
I mean, I know it's weird, but just look at him. He's obviously the guy from back, or maybe he's a lookalike? Do you really not remember?
他人の空にじゃないの？何よその顔は。悪かったわね。忘れっぽくて。
She grumbles out of response.
自分が殺した男のことも忘れるなんてひどい女ね。
Meifeng looks like she's enjoying this.
いちいち覚えちゃいないわよ。だいたい私が殺して生きてるっておかしいじゃない。
まあね。どれだけ似てるか知らないけど、坊やの勘違いじゃない？
Yeah, good point. Still, I find it very hard to believe that Abu could be alive after what happened. The Abu lookalike suddenly yells in our direction.
あま。
He thrusts the tip of his great sword at Annerose.
そうみたいね。敵討ちでもする？
Annerose smiles, but the corners of her eyes are twitching like she's pissed. Uh-oh. Noticing that, the crowd quickly backs away from her. How come this is not an anime? Abu's younger brother slings the greatsword over his shoulder with a belly laugh. His brother, huh? Man, do they look alike. Like two peas in a pod. So that's it. He's here for revenge. I wonder how good he is, considering his considering he's avenging his brother and all.
うわ、うざ。
Annerose mutters like she's totally creeped out. Yeah, my condolences, I think.
金剛夜叉が暑苦しくなりそうね。
やめてよ。
She groans at Meifeng's sarcastic remark. Wow, they're more friendly than I thought.
また？今度は誰よ？
あなたじゃないの？
え？私？
Meifeng looks confused with Abu, the younger brother, pointing at her.
あんた誰よ？
Meifeng asks with an imitating glare. I guess she doesn't remember him either. Abu, the young brother, lays bare his burning hate and lust as he licks his lips. Gross.
何あれ？
She's got the same look Annerose had a second ago.
自分が騙した男のことも忘れてるなんてひどい女ね。
Annerose chose the perfect moment to give some back to her.
何言ってるのよ。あなた、騙した男の顔なんていちいち覚えてるの？
After thinking for a moment,
忘れちゃうわね。
でしょ？
they exchange solemn nods. Murmurs of "oh man" and "wow, that's harsh" spread through the crowd. I feel the same way. Annerose, Meifeng, you guys are both both plain awful. Abu starts air humping and laughing obnoxiously.
うわ。
最悪。
Wow, they even have standards. This time the two of them look just about worn out.
あなたにあげる。
嫌よ、あんなの。
私だって嫌。
They're both trying to push him onto the other. Just when I was wondering how things were going to turn out, Abu angrily roars again. Man, he's obnoxious. And the one he was addressing this time was that samurai, the one he originally challenged. He was turning to leave, apparently fed with being ignored. Abu sneers the bold samurai as he brings his great sword down in a wide arc into his stance. Warrior high stance, the same as his brother. And is it me, or is his sword shaking a little? The crowd starts cheering once more at Abu, working himself up. The man quietly mutters, and turns to face his opponent. But he still hasn't drawn yet. He suddenly looks our way. They both practically gasp at the same time. He asks, paying no attention to Abu right in front of him.
よろしく。
お願いするの。
They answer smilingly. I can't tell from that side. Annerose is wearing the same expression now as when she fights. Has she sensed the samurai was that powerful? I swallow without realizing. The man places his hands on the hilt on his sword and slightly lowers himself. That's all? That minute motion alone made it feel like the temperature had suddenly dropped. The color of Abu's face markedly changes. He's being overwhelmed by that samurai far smaller than him. Abu shakes the ground over and over with his bellows, as if to hide his own fear. The man remains perfectly still. His eyes seem focused on Abu, standing before him, yet perceiving everything else around them as well. Then, a cold wind blows. The sound of a bell. Abu, the great sword comes crashing down, or so the moment it seemed. The samurai's blade raced from its sheath like lightning. He'll slash him before he can bring his great sword down, but the instant I thought his sword had already returned to its sheath with a dry clack. Abu simply stood there with a frozen expression, unable to even bring down his weapon. The man turns his back on his opponent. Abu's massive body splits clean in two, gushing thick blood everywhere as it slowly peels to either side and falls to the ground. No one says a word. That the people of Amidahara, who were accustomed to scenes of violence, would be rendered speechless stood testament to the man's skill with the sword. Then, the out-of-place sound of applause.
いいもの見せてもらったわ。お見事、お侍さん。
It was Annerose. The tension gripping the crowd finally lifts as they cheer and trade thoughts of the remarkable sight. Tales of an amazing samurai are certain to spread through Amidahara overnight.
すごい腕前ね。助かったわ。ねえ、お礼にこれから二人で飲む。
Mayfawn wastes no time on going after him. Unlike Annerose, she really does surround herself with men. Well, not that I expect anything different from her. But he ignores Mayfawn entirely and slowly approaches us. Approaches Annerose.
なに、お侍さん。
I heard tell of a witch who wields Kongo Yasha in this town. Would that be you?
いきなりね。名前くらい名乗ったら。
Asura Mifune.
映画から出てきたみたいだと思ってたら名前までそうなのね。もうすぐ四十郎ってやつ。
As he perplexed by Annerose's response, the man calling himself Asura Mifune isn't sure what to say.
ああ、ごめんなさい。アンネローゼバジュラよ。ええ、確かに金剛夜叉は私が持ってるわ。
The man smiles. It's a smile of a demon.
私もあなたが二頭を抜いたところを見てみたいわ。だってあなた目が一つじゃない。だったら刀は二本でしょ。
Annerose strokes around in the front of an amazingly skilled samurai. This is how she does things. Asura leaves, still wearing the smile of a demon. Mei Fong follows right after him, saying, "Wait for me."
すごい
What?
のが現れたわね。
Annerose murmured. I can tell she's excited as a swordswoman. Her cheeks are just faintly red.